Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're looking at this build on the new body style Tacoma. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem, Utah for giving me some time with this Tacoma. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Easton, and then also include a link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4 liter four-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, fuel economy stock is 19 around town and then 24 on the highway. We'll see what we get on our little test drive today with this lift and all of that. But regardless, power output's 278 horsepower and then 317 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So this is built off of an SR5 Tacoma, and I think it looks absolutely incredible. So there are some things that they have changed on this. One of them is blacking out the badges. So you can see the Toyota badge here in the front has been blacked out, which looks really cool. And it matches the headlight design of the Tacoma anyways, because the bezel and everything's all blacked out. And then they've removed the air dam. So you guys can see, now instead of having that big chin spoiler, this just has that nice sculpted front end, similar to what you have with the TRD off-road. And so when you look at this from the front end perspective, it looks a lot cleaner compared to a regular SR5. And let me show you. Here's a quick look at the front end of a regular SR5. You guys can see with the silver there and everything with the air dam. That's kind of what I'm talking about. And this brings us to the tire and wheel setup. 285 by 65 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see blacked out wheels. You got the TRD badge there in the center. I think those look absolutely fantastic. And then here's a quick look at the tires. So really aggressive with the tread pattern right there, but definitely a big tire and wheel setup. Now this actually is not technically lifted. It's a 1.5 inch level kit from Rough Country. So it's still on stock suspension and everything. And then this looks really good with the silver on this, because you can see like the silver contrasting the black down below. And then here's a quick look at everything in the rear of the truck with the suspension. Then if we take a few steps back, look at the stance on this. It looks really good. It's pretty level front to rear. I mean, I am on a slight hill, so the back end's going to be depressed just a little bit because of the incline that I'm on. But yeah, incline aside, that's really sharp looking. And then I just want to get you guys a few more beauty shots of the exterior of this truck. So here's the back end. Again, you can see it definitely sits higher. And the truck has just like the slightest amount of negative offsets. I would really call this probably neutral offset, and the tires are just big so they pop out just a little bit. So it just gives it just enough aggressive stance without looking like a bro-dozer. So I think that's really cool. And you probably noticed blacked out. And then I don't think there's anything on the back. Yeah, just Tacoma stamped into the tailgate. Oh, 4x4. I think that's blacked out from the factory, but anyways, blacked out. So sorry about the lighting with this shot, but this is our original window sticker. So again, this is just an SR5, a pretty basic SR5. Just has bed liner and floor mats and all that. So $42,849 is the base MSRP. Now you can see the options here. So the level, the black TRD wheels, you've got the tires, window tint, and then you've got the blacked out emblems. You can see that's what they're charging for at $36.25, and then $46,474 is the total price on this. Super reasonable for everything this has. Most dealers will just charge like $5,000 for just tires and wheels. I'm serious. So anyways, let's take this out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot ring, and then throw the rest of the rear. And so let's see, I should be able to just press OK. There we go. Fuel economy is reset. Again, not going to be the greatest fuel economy test on the planet because it's not a super long drive, but we'll at least be able to get some, we'll call them preliminary numbers with the fuel economy. I'm going to turn this on a little bit. Yeah, this is, there we go. This is nice. So far, SR5, right? It's the entry-level Tacoma, but it still comes with stuff like it's got lumbar, it's automatic, for example. You've got adaptive cruise control, you've got lane centering, and they, you know, have a not so fancy steering wheel on this, but they still make it feel fancy. It's still like kind of soft touch. It's got these perforations. It's just not the real like leather trim you have on the other packages. It's interesting. Do get a little bit more noise from the tires so far, but it's comfy. Yeah, over the bump, I mean, it makes sense with leveling kits. It usually makes it a little bit firmer. It was definitely a little bit firmer over that bump. More than enough torque to move this thing though, so that is not a problem whatsoever. And that's a big improvement over the previous generation Tacoma, because with the previous gen, I mean, that thing stock screaming with that little I shouldn't say little, decent sized V6, but I think it was the transmission that really just held that excuse me, held that truck up. This has a much better transmission and it's got quite a bit more torque. Horsepower is the same though, funny enough. At least with this version, the hybrid has a lot more. I mean, better fuel economy than I expected so far. We haven't done an acceleration, which we will do and kind of loop through here. But it rides pretty dang well, all things considered. Which is good, because sometimes you have to sacrifice ride quality for cool looks. It doesn't really seem like that's the case here. Yeah, the damping's not bad. These tires are fully aired up, so airing them down would help out a bit. Yeah, not too bad over the train tracks. We're almost getting 20 miles per gallon. Again, we got to get an acceleration. But I feel like this is somewhat, not perfect, but somewhat representative of around town driving to an extent. So if you're able to get, you know, fuel economy this good around town, that's, you know, the highway's probably going to be less because, you know, moving the bigger tires, but who knows? Doesn't seem like it's too bad so far. And another thing I want to mention is the seats are just nice. They hold you in place pretty well. Decently comfortable for cloth seats. Yeah, and braking's not weird at all. Sometimes it can be weird with bigger tires. Not weird at all. Not bad. I mean, you do have to get into it, okay? Not gonna pretend like you don't, but left on my fuel economy just went boonk. It's like RIP. Super quick. But boy, this drives pretty well. So once I get back around here, I'll kind of show you guys the final sort of reading with it. We are pretty much back with our driving. Again, this is around town driving, not any highway driving. But it looks like fuel economy is right around 18, so it's 18.1 miles per gallon. So right around 18 miles per gallon with pretty beefy tires on a Tacoma. Not too shabby. I know there's gonna be people that are gonna comment, my full-size pickup truck gets better than that, and fair enough, some full-size pickup trucks do in fact get better than this, but mid-size pickup trucks have never really been that much more economical, or more economical at all compared to full-size pickup trucks. The reason why you get mid-size is because the not because the fuel is cheaper, but because the upfront cost is less money, and you know, you don't need the big size. So overall, it drives well. I don't think there's a downside to it. I think that it's pretty much all upside with this leveled Tacoma. So let me know what you guys think about this build. And you know, once there's a lifted one, like an actual lifted one, not just a leveling kit, I'll get a review for you guys on that. But that's all.